Guess what's back?
What's that?
Back again. Caitlin Clark.
Yes, she is.
Tell a friend. Pulled up from the parking lot, the second shot of the game. She had the first 2 points on the foul line. Then she had, then they scored a layup, and then she pulls up from logo, from where the 22 is basically on the Iowa court. Cash.
Pat McAfee recently opened up to Angel Reese. Let's also say that it was a full-fledged sports talk smackdown rather than a polite reminder. The reason for this is that Caitlin Clark destroyed the Chicago Sky as if she were giving a lesson on how to win at professional basketball. Clark reminded everyone of what elite looks like by draining logo threes and giving out dime-like Halloween candy. Reese, meanwhile, was trying her hardest to portray the misunderstood protagonist, but was still unsuccessful.
The internet, though, clipped out Angel Reese pushing the Fever Girl in the back.
She was like the villain.
Here's a clip that everybody was fake upset about.
That's not a bad foul. No, Caitlin Clark not finna fight, bro. It's turning they shit up, though. It's just some internet shit, bro. It's just bringing attention to these.
Caitlin Clark's goal was to convey a message as much as to win. A message for all social media keyboard warriors and talking heads, but especially for Angel Reese. Pat McAfee heard the message loud and clear. I'm here to run this league, not to win people over. McAfee exploded when Clark lit up the Sky and sent them back to the locker room after giving them a reality check that was almost 30 points. Just the truth, without any sugarcoating or filtering. Please leave a CC in the comments section below if you're here to support Caitlin in the same way that McAfee does. Come on, let's go.
She has surpassed everybody in the amount of time that she has played in the WNBA. She fills up every arena in every town that she goes to. Teams have to go to bigger arenas so that they can try to profit off the Caitlin Clark train coming to town. Most 20-point, 10-assist games in WNBA history, which I think you could say, yeah, that's a good game. Like that's how you classify. Vandersloot, obviously, 430 games played, had 10 of them. Diana Taurasi, people talk about it as the GOAT, right?
The GOAT.
Damn
Yeah.
right. You're damn right.
564. Where'd she go to school?
UConn.
Okay. 565 games played. She has 9 20-point, 10-assist games. And then Caitlin Clark, 41 games played. She already has 9 of them.
Let's turn the tape back. Clark casually drops a triple-double. It would have seemed like any other Tuesday. Her first WNBA matchup of the season against Angel Reese, and she puts up 20 points, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds like it's a warm-up. This wasn't just basketball, this was a master class. The Sky couldn't keep up. Clark controlled the tempo like she had. The cheat codes, throwing no-look passes and drilling logo range bombs like she was shooting into a lake.
Moment in a game where Angel Reese has a little bit of a push-off on an offensive board. Obviously, she's great at getting rebounds, incredible underneath. Caitlin Clark says, what the hell is
Come
that?
on!
Caitlin Clark says, what the hell is that, to the ref? And then she says, and most basketball people say, that's a take foul. Instead of a layup, we're going to make you earn it. I think Angel would miss one or both of those free throws instead of getting a wide-open layup in that entire thing. Angel was pissed off, thought it was a flagrant. Afterwards, everybody said it was a take foul, it was a take foul. But it was very convenient how most of the internet, not all of the internet, most of the internet, though, clipped out Angel Reese pushing the Fever Girl in the back. Caitlin pointing at the ref like, what are we talking about here? We're not calling that.
And the impact, it was felt across the country. The Fever Sky matchup pulled in a record-breaking 2.7 million viewers, peaking at over 3 million, the most watched WNBA game in history. And why? Because Caitlin Clark is the draw every time she laces up eyeballs. Follow fans, show up arenas, sell out jerseys, fly off shelves. The league elevates.
She was different, and she seemed to be more exciting than everybody else, but she also was an incredible passer and disher in the way she went about her business. It was like, oh, this girl's different. This woman's different. Then she gets drafted to the Fever, and what she has done for this city and for this team is unbelievable. Obviously, last year at the beginning of the season, nobody wanted to believe. Okay?
They still don't.
There's a lot of people that still think there's a lot of other. She is the one.
Angel Reese, on the other hand, she had no answer. She looked lost while Clark danced circles around her defense. And after all the hype, all the energy, all the declarations that she's bringing eyeballs to the game, refinished with a stat line quieter than a library. Meanwhile, Caitlin made sure the scoreboard and the cameras told the real story.
It pisses off everybody whenever we say it. And then obviously it becomes a whole thing because we're a bunch of doofuses and things like that. But This is the golden goose. This is the one. This is the generational, multi-generational player. And we're incredibly lucky that she's in Indianapolis. And she went fucking ham in the opener against the Chicago Sky.
And Pat McAfee, he wasn't about to let this moment be drowned out by spin. As soon as the last buzzer sounded, McAfee jumped on the mic and done what no one else in media appeared willing to do, say what everyone watching was thinking. This wasn't about attitude. This wasn't about social media drama. This was about basketball, and Caitlin Clark had just dropped the mic.
They clip that out. They just go to right here, bang, Caitlin Clark fouls Angel Reese, and then boom, buzzsaw on the internet about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Ultimately, I think the buzz is good for the WNBA as a whole. I know it's probably not fun to be a part of if you're Caitlin or Angel Reese or anybody else, but in the end, the Indiana Fever win by 100, and Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have started their second season in the WNBA, and Caitlin Clark is on track to be the greatest of all time.
Then followed the now famous foul sequence, the blatant take fall textbook stuff. But when Clark properly calls it out, suddenly the internet erupts, but not at the foul, no, at Clark. Somehow someone transforms the play into a highlight hit job. They clip out Reese pushing Natasha Howard moments before and jump directly to Clark making contact. Voila, a new villain is created and the media eats it up.
Like there's no argument. Like, I don't understand. Like, people can yell until they're blue in the face. Like, the proof's in the pudding. We've seen all the stuff. And you say, like, it is good for the sport at large, but I think a lot of people get turned on. Like, it just always goes into a race thing. Like, every single time, no matter what, that is always the discussion.
But McAfee, he wasn't having it. He called it exactly what it was: manufactured indignation. He mocked the cherry-picked footage, slammed the shoddy editing, and ripped apart the hot takes flooding timelines. This is what Pat does best. Expose the spin while everyone else is busy chasing clicks, saying they clipped the video. Please, Clark is suddenly the bad guy after they removed the first foul.
In every league, there's going to be like adversaries. Like, you know, Angel Reese is the foil for Caitlin Clark and vice versa. Like, they don't have to get along. They don't have to like each other. They're competitors. Like that, this kind of shit happens. But every single time something like this happens, and we have to go right back to
full on.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't get moved at all. So like, we're not talking about the game. We're talking about that play, and that's it. You know. And then we'll get the stats about her 20 points and 10 assist games and the triple doubles and all that. But the discussion always comes back to this.
McAfee didn't stop there either. He addressed the critics who are still unable to utter the silent bit aloud. They're afraid of Caitlin Clark, a talent that transcends generations. Fearful of the speed at which she has altered the game and the indisputable nature of her numbers, fearing that while Clark is on the floor, their favorite stories won't work. According to McAfee, this is the golden goose. She's forcing teams to move arenas, shattering attendance records, and selling tickets. What else are you in need of?
When I see the Fever play, I'm like, these are great teams. Los Angeles, I think they got Kelsey Plum out there.
Yeah, they do.
I think they're going to be great. There's a lot of great teams. I'm just talking about watching Caitlin Clark play. Electrifying.
Yes.
Absolutely. She will pull. She will pull that shit up. She will shake, sidestep, step back, not scared. And then she'll do a no-look pass, full court passes. I mean, her teammates have to get used to her passes, I think, because they've never really seen it before. Yep. She's great for the sport. She's great for the game.
He also made analogies to legendary figures like Diana Taurasi. Yes, Steph Curry and Sue Bird. Here's the kicker, though. The needle wasn't moved this fast by any of them. In addition to praising her performance, McAfee honored her leadership, poise, and the way she handled the WNBA spotlight with poise while taking criticism and elbows in equal measure.
That's basically who's filling up all these arenas. Now, obviously, there's a lot of adult males who are fans and go into it, but you got a lot of little girls that are coming out watching their hero play, and she's selling out every arena. It's great for the sport.
Yeah, she's the most popular women's athlete on the planet right now, I think, and obviously her game speaks for, it's just different.
Regarding Angel Reese McAfee, he was tactful but surgical. He credited her with contributing to the surge in attention, but he didn't buy the drama, the flop, the post-game pout, or the sympathy tours on TikTok. He stated unequivocally what the rest of the league is speculating. Angel Reese is turning into the antagonist in a story that only Caitlin Clark is truly winning. Furthermore, being the villain doesn't alter what goes on behind the lines, even though it could sell shirts and make headlines.
We watch the playoffs, you see a hard foul, guy gets up, talk shit. Did Angel overreact? Yeah, probably. It was a hard foul. It is what it is. They squashed it after the game and you moved on. But yeah, all the think pieces and everything after the first game, hey, it's numbers, so I'm sure the WNBA probably likes that part of it. But the other side of it, I think is pretty shitty.
Due to the fact that between those lines, Caitlin Clark is in control. She is effective, fierce, and most importantly, winning. This is a scoreboard, not a debate. And McAfee drove home that point like a man fed up with seeing great players obscured by headlines that don't capture the essence of the game. He dropped the now iconic truth bomb to end his tirade. Caitlin Clark is the living example of how people can shout until they're exhausted. Now, it might not be one day. Today, and as for the detractors, the haters, the narrative peddlers, and the social media drama queens, they may keep spinning. Caitlin Clark is too busy rewriting songs, filling stadiums, and giving everyone who has any doubts a triple-double.
Watching Caitlin become confident that she's the one out here, too, is awesome.
Yeah, it's
like press conferences, she's leading. Coach is here. Aaliyah Boston's here.
Yeah.
Kelsey Mitchell, dog, great player. She's down there. It's like, this is Caitlin's team.
Pat McAfee didn't just deliver a segment, he blasted a firework of truth directly into the center of the Caitlin Clark smear machine. Fans also sensed it. The answer wasn't moderate, it was a huge wave of agreement from millions who've had it, with a relentless shade thrown at Clark in a media ecosystem steeped in hot takes and recycled defamation. McAfee stood up and said what so many are thinking: enough with the nonsense, the spin cycle is broken, and the game's brightest star deserves better.
Ratings are higher than it's ever been for the WNBA.
Yeah.
Congrats to Caitlin Clark.
That's right.
Nice.
It's crazy how it's always the Fever, seems like. Or it's a game that the Fever game is leading into.
Sure.
It's crazy how that works.
I mean, what are you going to do? Proof's in the pudding, kind
Get a girl out of Iowa.
Exactly.
Who can pull up from the state next door.
Yeah.
And light up an entire arena, every arena.
For months, we were told to pipe down that the whole Clark versus Reed dynamic was overhyped, that it wasn't a rivalry, just two second-year players crossing paths, cute, harmless, coincidental. But now that fairy tale is officially in the trash, the numbers are screaming. The crowds are howling and the takes are burning like cheap gas. This isn't simply a rivalry, it's the most electric narrative line in women's sports right now, maybe in all of sports, and it's not because of some media dream. It's because Caitlin Clark constantly showing up and redefining what supremacy looks like, and naturally that type of excellence makes people uncomfortable.
But I think Caitlin Clark sees the bigger picture, wants to leave WNBA better than whenever she got there. And obviously I think Angel Reese is a part of this with how big her personality is and how well she's known. But it's like, just let's go. It's good for sports, the more eyes on all these things. And I think obviously as a lot of girl dads in here, it's great that that is where it's headed. But it just needs to be acknowledged by everybody that there is a driver behind it. And it happens to be a bucket from Iowa in Caitlin Clark.
Start with the viewership. The Fever versus Sky matchup, aka Clark versus Reese round, whatever, pulled in a jaw-dropping 2.7 million average viewers at one point. It peaked at 3.1 million. That is more than just impressive. That is history-making, record-breaking, and jaw-dropping. And yet the same commentators who jump on every WNBA story still have the audacity to argue, well, it's not really a rivalry actually. So why is every sports network in the nation riveted to the screen whenever these two on the court together?
The argument is stupid. Like you can say whatever you want, but it's very obvious. And I think even the WNBA as like a whole, like their front league office, I guess, if you will, like they might not publicly,
They have publicly though. They said, hey, all these games are primetime.
Yeah, exactly.
WNBA, all the Fever's games are primetime.
They got more primetime games than the Lakers had.
Yeah.
Definitely more than the Colts have.
Nationally.
Definitely more than the Pacers have.
Yep.
Legit.
It's more than simply statistics. It's also symbolic. Rhea and Clark stand in for two quite distinct plot lines. The polished prodigy performing triple-doubles with surgeon-like accuracy is one example. The other portrays the antagonist with flair, garnering more media attention for her flops and side eyes than for her field goals. One moves the ball in the league, the other moves the talk, and while there's nothing wrong with a little controversy, let's not kid ourselves about who's actually raising the bar.
And she fills up a stadium in an arena more than anybody else. And I had somebody tweet me this the other day before we talked about Caitlin's debut. You better talk about the biggest star in Indianapolis this year or whatever. And it's like, I'm not good at talking about I don't know enough about the WNBA to talk about it, but I do know enough about business. I do know enough about a superstar, and Caitlin Clark is both of those things, and she has the work ethic to back it up. Like, this isn't just going to be a flash in the pan. This is going to be for the foreseeable future.